Welcome to another episode of Solitaire Quest. I'm your host, the Blood Knight of the Old Republic of Bloodganistan. Like, share, and subscribe. And today, I am reviewing Leering Academy in Space, Episode 10. Or as you'd know it, Star Trek Academy, Episode 10. And let's get into this review. We got a flashback to Caleb's past. Tatiana Maslany got sentenced to rehabilitation. Not the fun rehabilitation from Idiocracy, but like the boring kind. Where she would have got rehabilitated and she would have served out a prison sentence. And she would have, I guess she would have had limited access to her, limited visitation rights to her kid. Caleb would have grew up not in poverty, so yeah. Blonde chick in the USS Athena, they meets up with Tatiana Maslany. Tatiana Maslany freaks out after seeing the blonde chick. And we get Gemma Darg lady and Admiral Vance gives some exposition. We find out that the mines if they blow up, they'll kill, I think it was like billions or millions billions of people. And Discovery can't jump in because the mines are all connected through subspace and the magic mushroom dimension. The magic mushroom dimension, I guess it intersects through subspace, apparently. We got Paul Giamatti's faction. He sends in 6 ships to attack the Athena, and they tell the kids to hide in the airlock because that's gonna somehow protect them from being detected by Paul Giamatti's faction of ships. So we get some feelings inside an airlock. And the ship is getting all explodey. And then Paul Giamatti, he teleports in with his guys. Teleports in as opposed to just like, it could have just like teleported everyone out of the ship, you know? It's like once the shields are down, once they figure out that it's only a skeleton crew with the kids, they could have just beamed them all out to his ship instantaneously. But none of that happens because reasons. And Paul Giamatti, he rants at them. Paul Giamatti doesn't like Tig Notaro. Feelings mutual, I guess. I guess it's like he's a stand-in for the audience at this point. So yeah, they put the doctor's mobile emitter into the ship, and they fake the destruction of the ship somehow, and they fake the destruction of the Athena. They somehow fake it somehow. Like Paul Giamatti's ships, they were all firing on the Athena. They were like going full rip on their weapons, and they were going full rip, and somehow the Doctor manages to somehow project. They somehow manage to project a holographic illusion of the Athena getting blown up. Somehow. Really, it's like, as soon as the shields are down, a single quantum torpedo or photon torpedo even should have just like blown up the ship instantaneously. I don't know why not. Or hell, it's like they could have just beamed over a warhead or something onto the ship, put it right beside the warp core, and just blew the ship up like that. Somehow the ship they managed to escape destruction. And then what happens is it's like the ship with the Athena, the programmable matter. They actually insert his mobile emitter into the panel, and then it just automatically downloads somehow. And yeah, apparently, it's like the Doctor, like he's keeping around the mobile emitter, but what I don't get is why doesn't he have like a more advanced mobile emitter, like a 31st century mobile emitter or something like that, you know? Like I don't get that. Like he should have had like an upgrade or something. So yeah, but I guess we gotta have that kind of memory berries, I guess. So yeah, they take the mobile emitter out of the starship, the control panel, and the Doctor he's all messed up. He got a case of the retards. Bad old case of getting retarded. And it's like the Doctor can't talk too good because now he's retarded, I guess. So yeah, they gotta take down the mines and repair the ship. You know what would be really cool at repairing the ship? You know, the programmable matter. You know, the magic matter that they introduced in this series that no one seems to want to utilize to its full potential. Because this stuff could basically, like, all they gotta do is just use the replicator. Just gotta repair a single replicator, then use the replicator to build more programmable matter, and then use that programmable matter to repair the ship fully, you know? Like, I don't get why the 32nd century ships, why they don't have, like, auto repair functions with the programmable matter to repair the ships to, like, full functionality. And hell, it's like they can even add with the programmable matter. It's like it was established that they could build like phaser emitters onto their ships and whatnot. So I don't get is how come they don't have like the ship it's all tricked out with phasers and stuff like that. I don't get that. So yeah, we got this quote from Paul Giamatti. revolution will be televised because I guess the writers can't. It's like why the hell is Paul Giamatti? Why is his character just quoting that in the 32nd century? Like why? So yeah, they take the blonde chick and Tatiana Maslany back to the drive section of the Athena to do their court trial. And Paul Giamatti, he invites all the criminals and whatnot from I don't know, from whatever syndicates and whatnot. They're all there in holographic form. They're there for reasons, I guess, to just witness this. So yeah, we find out that Paul Giamatti was starving at a mining colony in the 32nd century when replicators exist. It was apparently starving. It's like, but yeah, replicators exist, and this is the 32nd century, where presumably they would have programmable matter would be in the commonplace technology in the future. So why didn't they use this programmable matter to build themselves some basic farming greenhouses and whatnot with the programmable matter? You see, when it comes to sci-fi, folks, when it comes to sci-fi, it's like you if you're gonna introduce some bullshit, it has to affect it has to affect the world building and whatnot. It's like in Skyrim and whatnot, when they have like magic spells that can turn iron bars into gold. But the world doesn't reflect that. There's no world building and whatnot to reflect that. Like in a world where it's like you can turn with a magic spell iron into gold, it's like gold would be it wouldn't be worth much, but it's like they don't reflect that. Doesn't reflect that in the world building. There's also a section in Quest where it's like they're stripped of all your weapons and you're thrown in jail and whatnot, but there's no countermeasures against you using. There's no precautions against you using magic and whatnot to conjure up like magic swords and arrows and whatnot. With programmable matter, it's like they that's the same problem. It's like the world building doesn't reflect the existence of this substance, So yeah. So yeah, you got apparently Paul Giamatti's family got killed by the Federation. Allegedly. Because the Federation is in the habit in the 31st century of just destroying mining colonies and whatnot. So yeah, Paul Giamatti is fed up and is putting the Federation on trial. Basically, a stand-in for basically the authors putting Star Trek on trial. So yeah, wrote down my notebook. Paul Giamatti is a stand-in mouthpiece for the writers. So yeah, we have the cadets are having trouble piloting the ship through a gravitational eddy. And I wrote it down in my notebook. The ship is still banged up, and they don't use the programmable matter to repair the ship. They don't do that at all. And apparently, yeah, it's like the ship is suffering from like a plasma leak in their ship, and it's affecting their warp core. Which, if that was the case, the warp core would be close to breach. It would be close to being breached. So, yeah. So, yeah, I noticed, I wrote down this in my notebook. We got liberation written in English, written on a wall. Because the authors are signaling, they're signaling to the audience of Star Trek that they have liberated Star Trek from the fandom, from the fans, you know? They've liberated Star Trek from the fans. They've taken it for themselves. Because you can't have it. Star Trek is not for you. So, yeah. So we find out that the Federation was researching Omega to use as an infinite power source. They were building Omega in massive quantities so that they could use it as a power source. Even though it was stated in Voyager, just a small amount of it can ruin a fucking quadrant. The Federation's going full rip into research in Omega. Because why not? It's like, let's just, it's like the burn has already happened. All the dilithium and whatnot's gone bad and whatnot. We can barely go to warp and whatnot. Let's destroy subspace at all. So let's manufacture enough Omega to destroy subspace in such a vicinity to basically make everything just all screwed up, you know? No one being able to go to warp and whatnot. Let's just ruin that for everyone, I guess. So, yeah. The blonde chick is put on trial. And, yeah, we find out that the Federation had to triage worlds. Again, this is an entire world. This is a setting where replicators exist. Where they can just fabricate food and consumer goods very rapidly and very efficiently by the 24th century. By the 31st century or 32nd century, it's like why it's like they should have been able to basically synthesize. It's like why didn't they use the replicators and whatnot to make their own dilithium, to make new dilithium? God, there's just so many fucking inconsistencies and plot holes. It's like you could fly starships through the plot holes of Kurtzman Trek, let's just say. It's like, why couldn't they basically... It's like, sure, it's like with all the programmable matter, it's like all the ships are destroyed. Tell the programmable matter to basically come together and make new ships. And rebuild the ships. Use replicators to synthesize dilithium, new dilithium crystals. Mass manufacture that. It's like, if you can't, it's like by the 24th century, it's like if they couldn't like build new dilithium crystals with replicators in the 24th century, 32nd century replicators, it's like they should have been able to build whole stacks of dilithium with the super advanced technology of the 32nd century, build new dilithium crystals to power ships and use the programmable matter to tell all the busted up ships to rebuild themselves. Yeah, it's freaking ridiculous. So yeah, I digress because there's still more of this I have to go through in my notebook. So yeah, Caleb and Tig talk about who Caleb is, and apparently Caleb gives a damn. Like, no shit. It's like, why do we as the audience need to be told this? Why does Caleb need to be told this? We already know. So yeah. So they finally fixed the warp core that Tignataro and Caleb had to personally oversee the repairs of, because I guess they couldn't tell the programmable matter to do an auto repair, I guess. So yeah, we got more of the trial, and Tatiana Maslany questions the blonde chick as a stand-in for the writer, and Tatiana Maslany said that she needed sympathy and understanding and all that jazz. And Tatiana wants, it's like she says she wants all this understanding and whatnot, but she also wants to dance on the blonde chick's grave. So, yeah. She wants to dance on the blonde chick's grave, but she also wants understanding from her. Okay. So yeah, the EMH doctor, he's still messed up because they couldn't do it. They were doing the defrag problem. They were doing a defrag. They were doing a defrag on the they were doing a disk defrag on the doctor, and it didn't work because I guess 32nd century technology is incapable of auto repairing and auto correcting 24th century hologram that presumably has had several updates done to it. Yeah. I guess they can't. I guess they can't. They can't. They can't like. They can't use their super advanced technology to repair the doctor, so he's all still talking gibberish and whatnot. And the holographic chick is freaking out. So yeah, they have feelings in the room. Doctor's still communicating is all messed up. But the doctor somehow, the EMH doctor, it's like his vocal processors, whatever his language subroutines are for speaking, they're all messed up, right? So instead of writing down on a pad what he's trying to say, like trying to write, like put up a writing prompt or something, instead of trying to write on a pad on what he's trying to say, he leaves the cadets and whatnot to figure shit out. and the Doctor figures out how to stabilize Omega somehow. Somehow he figures it out. Was there any have we established that the Doctor knows stuff about quantum physics or engineering, or that he downloaded some information beforehand? Was there any kind of establishment that the EMH Doctor knows some stuff about quantum physics and engineering? No, there's none of that established. Did he download anything? No. None of that's established. We find out that Rubin particles are the key to stabilize the Omega. And yeah, I wrote down my notebook. The Doctor figured it out somehow. So they do a simulation, and they reduce the Rubin particles, and it stabilizes the Omega. It stabilizes the Omega. Does it make the Omega inert? No. But it stabilizes it. So I guess we now have a stabilized version of Omega that the Federation going forward should be able to use in their spaceships. Should be able to synthesize all the Omega and use it for their spaceships, because it's all stabilized and safe right now. They should have an infinite unlimited power source that would last them indefinitely. They should have the key to infinite power. Is this going to come up in the future of Star Trek Starfleet Academy? Only time will tell, but the writers are gonna just frickin' ignore that. I bet. So yeah, we get feelings inside a psychic headspace with Caleb and the Betazoid chick. So they're gonna use the Betazoid chick. They're gonna use Caleb's connection to his mom, who he hasn't seen in years. They're going to use his connection to his mom that he hasn't seen in years to use that connection. They're gonna psychically find Caleb's mom, and that's gonna lead them directly to Paul Giamatti, and they're gonna jump in and whatnot. So yeah, they figure they're going to send a computer algorithm to the mines to stabilize Omega. They're going to send a computer algorithm signal to the mines, all of them, all at once. They're going to send this signal to the mines, and the mines are going to reduce the amount of Rubin particles, because Paul Giamatti, he built these mines with the ability to somehow, Paul Giamatti, he built these mines. He built them to such a way that they can now not only can they hold Omega inside them, but they also have the capability to stabilize Omega inside the mines, and to somehow make the Omega fully inert somehow. So yeah, they jump into a gas giant. They jump the Athena's saucer section. Although it's not really, I wouldn't say it's a saucer section. I would say it's like an inner disk section. An inner disk section, because the Athena is it's not really a saucer connected to a secondary hull, but yeah. So yeah, They jump into the gas giant, totally ripping off J.J. Abrams' Star Trek movie. They're cannibalizing J.J. Abrams' Trek. They're copying that. And yeah, this is the 32nd century. Paul Giamatti's ships somehow don't detect this. I mean, it's like it's the 32nd century. It's like all their sensors that they have. It's like unless it's some extreme spatial anomaly, unless there's an extreme spatial anomaly disturbing everything, it's like they should have perfect sight, you know? So yeah, Paul Giamatti is at the end of the trial. The blonde chick explains to the pilot that Tatiana Maslany killed for getting arrested was from Hawaii, and that he had a family, and all their parents were he was a parent, and it's like the family. Tatiana Maslany murdered a father and whatnot. Which realistically, it's like they shouldn't. It's like This is the 32nd century, and it's like by the 23rd century, by the 22nd century. By the 22nd century, they had hand phasers with stun settings. So I don't get why all crime in the future can't be done with like stun settings. It's like, so unless they were using like some other weapon other than phasers, like a disruptor pistol or something, but then it's like, it's the 32nd century. You should be able to manufacture whatever kind of gun with any kind of stun setting. It's like, frickin' A. So yeah, Tatiana Maslany and Paul Giamatti, when they fought the pilot, they fought in self-defense. It's like we live in a future. We live in the super advanced 32nd century future. It's like we have weapons that have stun settings, yet we still use them. We're going to set them to kill because we want to add more criminal charges to our sentencing because reasons. You know, it's like we have weapons with stun settings. It's like, and we're not using them. We're setting those weapons to kill so we can add more charges to crimes to our trials. It's to like trials and whatnot. Add more frickin' charges and whatnot. Don't mind me, I'm just... Alright. So yeah, we got feelings in courtroom as the blonde chick defends herself. So yeah, Tatiana Maslany sentences the blonde chick and the Federation as guilty. So yeah, Tatiana Maslany, she condemns the Federation to being guilty. And we find out from Vance that detonating the Omega mines would kill billions. So yeah, Maslany is totally willing to kill billions of people. Billions of people. All because she has a grudge on the blonde chick. It's like, yeah. It's like, fuck all those billions of people and whatnot. So yeah, Caleb comes in and he has to buy some time. And he wants to say some stuff. Meanwhile, the hologram chick has to do a whole bunch of calculations. Somehow. She's got to do a whole bunch of calculations. It's like, for some reason, it's like, can't they just tell the minds? Can't they just tell the minds? It's like, hey, reduce. It should be just a simple computer program to send to the minds. It's like, hey, reduce the Rubin particles in the Omega by this amount of percent to stabilize it and neutralize it. So yeah, they sent Caleb alone to buy time and assumed Caleb would be allowed to get into the courtroom. Brilliant fucking plan. Brilliant fucking plan. So yeah, Paul Giamatti accuses Caleb of being brainwashed. And we find out that the Federation didn't destroy the mining colony, and that the atmosphere of the planet was ignited by Paul Giamatti's father, because there was an element, strontium, inside the atmosphere, and that ignited the atmosphere, and everything blew up. So it was Paul Giamatti's fault. It's his father's fault for blowing up the mining colony. And Paul Giamatti has a crash out over this. He has a crash out. He's got a crash out after being accused of being a child by the blonde chick. And the crime leaders, they all the holographic, all the holograms of all the holographic communications of the crime leaders, they all dematerialize. They all disconnect. So yeah, Paul Giamatti pulls out a detonator. He presses the button. But Omega got stabilized in time. So it's like... So yeah, Paul Giamatti's character, he did all of this as a matter of theatrics. It's like he did all of this as a matter of theatrics. It's like... He could have just detonated the Omega straight up. And basically, boom, one and done. But he had to have a theatrical court. He had to have a theatrical court scene for some reason. So yeah, Paul Giamatti gets arrested by the Federation as the ships surround them. And yeah, I wrote down my notebook. For some reason, Paul Giamatti went through a villain trial scheme instead of just detonating the mines full rip. Everything turned out alright, and we find out it's almost summertime. And then it's always sunny in Philadelphia. And they go to Beta Z. We had a voiceover outro with Caleb. And yeah, I wrote down in my notebook, why did the mines have the ability to fully stabilize the Omega built into them? And then we have some shitty millennial outro music at the end. And this is season 1 of Starfleet Leering Academy. Yeah. So yeah. There's a lot of shit that's went wrong with this episode. There's a lot that went wrong in this episode. Again, it's like all this freaking yeah. Yeah, this show is it's retarded, yeah, basically. So yeah, it's like I've seen some videos. But about how the practicalities of basically manufacturing all these mines to basically mine off the Federation. And the only way it feasibly works out is if the Federation is only a very small fraction of the size. And even that, it might not be fully feasible. But yeah, it's like somehow the Federation didn't detect all these mines being placed around its borders. And these mines were able to shield themselves from any kind of Starfleet scanner somehow. So, yeah, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, this episode was freaking stupid as all hell. I gotta palate cleanse this from my mind. How shall we say? I'll have to do that later. Review some One Piece or something like that. So anyway, I hope you like this review. I hope you watch till the end. I'm your host, the Blood Knight of the Old Republic of Bloodganistan. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace out. Peace out.